Gray Life, Chapter 1, Volume 1, ages 1 through 5, I guess. As far back as I can remember, we'll go to Chicago. As a kid in Chicago, growing up in the 80s, there was fire hydrants bust open, parks was filled. I can remember the smell of barbecue on every block. And Lord forbid we go to the park. It was all kind of kids there playing basketball, football, even baseball was big when I was growing up in the black community. But it was these water parks I used to enjoy. And it wasn't a water park in the sense of a slide. It was a water park in the sense of, it was this little 5 water spouts and they would shoot water out in different sequences. And I really enjoyed that. But what I most enjoyed was my family time. I had a loving grandmother. Man, Freddie Mae Townsend. She was the greatest. And Warren was the block we was on. All the kids was always playing. It was always something going on. It just seemed like so much fun. And you get caught up in the rapture and it's like, damn, I'm in heaven, you know? But the strange part of it is how life changes. And when life changes, things change and perceptive change. And that's what we're going to cover in this documentary of mine. A lot of people want to know, hey, Stan, what happened to you? Where you been? Where you from? You're Aquarius. You so secretive. I don't know much about you. Well, we're going to take a journey through my life from start to current, because it's not over yet. And I hope it's not over for a while, because I still got a lot of work to do. But I can remember waking up at my grandma's house, my Aunt Tony cooking blueberry pancakes. Ah, man, I ain't even a fan of blueberry. But with them motherfuckers, you could smell the aroma through the house. It was a loving house, man. We had Aunt Tony, Bay Joe, Uncle Al, Lil Eddie in the basement, my grandma on that middle floor. I can remember my Uncle Tom being there, but maybe that was later in life. I don't know. But it was such a feeling of joy and camaraderie and family. And I guess it was the perfect match for my life as an Aquarius. So when I was born, my dad was actually in the military. And he was stationed in Germany. And honestly, I don't know if he saw me born. But I do know the story of how he wanted to come back and see me being born. But the Army pretty much was like, nah, you signed this contract. You gonna do this, nigga. So that's where the story gets interesting. As far back as I can remember, we lived in Chicago on Warren, and it's kind of a blur, but all of a sudden we was in Bearwood, because I remember coming back to Chicago telling people, like, I live in Bearwood. They like, where the fuck is Bearwood? Because see, in my city, you pretty much survive in a 4 to 8 block radius. And too many people don't ever get outside of that radius. I was one of the lucky ones. I got a chance to experience a lot of shit, and I'm going to share it all with y'all. But trying to explain to them where Bearwood was, the only thing I could say was we was rich. And to me, we was. The house was bigger. We had a yard with grass. Hell, on Warren, I don't even know if we had grass. It was a hotel next door to my grandma's house, which a lot of shit was happening out of in hindsight. Like prostitution, motorcycle gang. I don't know what the fuck it was, because my memory kind of skewed. I was very young at the time, but I knew something was going on over there that wasn't right. And then when they finally tore that down, it was just a vacant lot that we played sports in. You know, milk carton basketball, milk crate basketball, maybe a little off the wall, maybe some tackle the man with the football. But the best shit was watching all the people race And then after the races, we play a football game. And that was the show every weekend. I don't know if my uncle started it, but we used to do it every Thanksgiving. We go out in the morning and we play football in the snow. But this game in the vacant lot was different because it was with your peers. So you got a chance to show off your stuff. And I guess this is where my desire to win, my hunger to be the best, my Aquarius will imposing nature came out of. Because this football game, I was the youngest. Everybody was older than me. And at the time, they don't never throw the little kid the ball, but that's okay. It just make you more hungry to want to get the ball and then do something with it once you get it. And believe me, that hunger is the shit that drove me in life. In everything I did. From drug dealing, to football, to basketball, to track, which I didn't even enjoy. I just needed a great history grade. And he promised me that. So I did it. But that hunger still drives me, even today. And I appreciate that, because that's the core of where I'm from. And without that, there is no me. So I say roughly between the ages of 4 and 5, I kind of grew into my own self, but I was still learning stuff. But something tragic happened. My dad passed. And when he passed, I didn't know how it would affect me at the moment. But I did find out. In the long term, it would be consequences to not having a dad around, which makes me want to be a great dad to any kid that's around me. And I don't mean dad in the fact that I birthed them or had a part of it, but just showing them what a real man should be. But needless to say, that also played an impact on my life, because along with the drive and not having a man there to show me how to guide it and direct it, it was rough. So when my dad passed at 5, which a lot of you might not know, he committed suicide. So I'm partially sensitive to mental illness, depression, and certain things, but it's a part of me now. And I have to embrace it and accept it. And it's another one of the notches in my key that helps me turn it over and get this drive going, because I refuse to quit now. My dad have no idea, and I don't know if he listening or not, but the reason I won't quit on shit is because he quit. And not that he quit in a bad way, because I don't want you to get that misconstrued, but I view him quitting as motivation. And he actually knew that. He left me tons and tons of information for me to feed off of, which I found out later in life, which was a great thing because it caught me at the right time.